Ready? Okay. Alright, so I'm the rebuttal, and the first point raised by the opposition was there's a lack of choices. And she actually contradicted her partner's statement because she said there are 2,000, but her partner just said that they only have 1 to 2. And also, this is actually the problem because ISPs can exploit this fact that they only have 1 to 2. And a study conducted by telecom business analyst Craig Moffat said that Cable One is already, for example, he used Cable One in the Midwest, is already jacking up rates and could continue to. What matters is that there is very little competition in Cable One's footprint. If you want high-speed broadband, where else are you going to go? And that's the root of the problem that causes monopolies, because people want higher speeds. People want higher speeds, but they're slowing down, causing them to jack up the rate so they can get those higher broadband packages that they want you to buy, that are supposed to be less money, but you're actually going to end up paying more. And she also said that the internet was protected under the First Amendment before net neutrality, but that law does not apply because the internet is now classified as an information service when net neutrality was repealed. So actually, it was a court case, Reno versus the ACLU, and the Supreme Court held that the government can no more restrict a person's access to words or images on the internet. So since the internet is now classified as an information service, whereas it used to be classified as a government utility under net neutrality, that court case does not apply because that was specifically stating that the government can, not ISPs. And also she said that people can always switch providers, but she just said that they only have 1 to 2 choices. And I have a similar study by Dr. Hal Singer that says, a senior fellow at George Washington Institute for Public Policy, that says there are nearly 50 million households with 1 high-speed data provider or none at all. So that's households. So just think of how many people that is. It's over 200 million people who don't have internet, who only have 1 adequate internet source and not another one. That's half the U.S. population. So how are they going to switch providers if they only have 1? And then also pricing, we said that we can switch to cell phone company plans, and she's used the example of perks, but perks aren't useful. And according to Estelle Mast, senior policy analyst at Access Now, an international digital rights advocacy group, asserts perks incentivize telecoms not to increase data caps or mobile internet. So because you have those perks of free HBO or free Amazon for a month, for however long, that's an excuse for them to not increase your data caps. So that if you go over, you're still going to have to pay money afterwards, just because, and most people don't use just 1 internet streaming site. I know me, I have Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and probably about everything. So they'll charge me over if I go over that free Netflix. And also, she said that packages are an effective option, and she used Portugal. And actually what happened in Portugal, Dr. Michael Corin says that this does not block content, but using data for apps outside the package will ultimately cost more relative to those in preferred packages. So like I just said, most people use more internet, especially us, we're students. We use a variety of different sources. Even just for this, I use the New York Times and U.S. News. But in Portugal, those are in 2 separate categories. So that means if I buy the one and not the other, then I have to pay more when I go over, and if I buy both, I'm still paying more. Whereas I can just have it all in one thing for 1 package. And also she said that the statistics weren't valid because the growth happened before net neutrality, but what my partner says is that the FCC had an open internet order in 2010, which would forbid the nation's largest cable and DSL internet service providers from blocking or slowing online services. But the problem is that it left wireless companies much more latitude. So yes, the growth did happen under somewhat net neutrality, but the problem was that it didn't regulate AT&T and Verizon, which are bigger now than they were back, back then. So it also can't fix the problem, but the statistics are still valid.